Hey friends, I am back and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make homemade butter. So I've had several people ask me to redo this video and post it, so I'm in the kitchen. I just got done making soap, doing dishes, and now I'm going to dirty some more and make some butter. So let me show you how this goes. Okay, so I've got the salt added in. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera now and cover the food or the mixer with a kitchen towel, a clean kitchen towel, because I want to turn this up and I want to be able to control the splatters. Alright, you can see that it is going. It's starting to splatter a little bit, but the cream is starting to get thicker. So we'll just have to let this go until the next step. So we are at the next step here, and so this is becoming whipped cream. So I'm just going to keep letting this go, and pretty soon you will start seeing the butter separate from the buttermilk, and that is the next step. So this has taken about 5 minutes to get here. It wouldn't have taken that long if I was doing a lesser amount, but altogether this takes about 15 minutes. So we'll just go ahead and let this go. So it's been about 3 more minutes, and I'm just still letting this go. I'm actually going to turn it off. Hold on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull this up and scrape down the sides so I can make sure that everything is getting in there. But you can see that it's quite a bit deflated from where it was the last time I showed you. So the molecules are starting to come together and form the butter. Alright, so I've got the side scraped down, and then I'm just going to go ahead and lock it in position and turn it back on and let it go. So it's been about 3 more minutes, and you can see that everything is really starting to group together now, and pretty soon we'll start seeing the buttermilk separate out. Once it gets to this consistency, it really does not take very long for the rest of the process to happen. The longest part is going from the whipped cream to this stage. Alright, while that's going, I'm just going to show you what I have ready at the table over here. So once that's finished, we're going to have to pour it from the bowl in through a strainer to separate out the butter from the buttermilk. And then we'll take the butter over to the sink and rinse it until all of the water runs clear. Alright, so things were starting to splatter, so I knew it was just about ready. So you can see now that the butter is actually separated from the buttermilk, and I'm going to let this go 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and stop it and strain it. Okay, so that did not even take 2 or 3 minutes, and you can see that it is fully separated. So now we need to go ahead and pour it through the sieve or through the strainer to fully separate it, and then rinse out the butter. So this is what it looks like right before we start straining it. So I'm just going to have to push those through the whisk here and back down into the bowl, and then we'll gather it all together after we strain it. But you can see that that is for sure butter. Alright, so normally Mark is in here helping me, but he is outside doing some garden stuff. So I just have my little setup here. So I've got the container that I'm going to keep the buttermilk in. I have my canner funnel, and then I have the strainer, and then I just put a stack of cups over here to hold that for me so that I don't have to worry about the strainer falling off. Okay, so I'm going to try and group as much of this butter together as I can, and I'm going to grab another bowl. All right, so I have another bowl here, and I can't really see if you guys can see or not. Yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna take the pieces that I already have like stuck together and put them down into the bowl. And I'm just kind of squeezing it with the spoon up against the side of my mixing bowl to get as much of the buttermilk out as possible. And then here we go. So just gonna pour. And you guys can see there's like quite a bit of buttermilk. So what do we do with the buttermilk that, you know, is a byproduct of making the butter? And what I do is I put it into the refrigerator, and probably sometime this week I will make chicken strips or fried chicken or something like that. And that makes a great, or like chicken fried steak, it makes a great base. Or marinade base for the butter. So I'm going to take my rings off so that I don't get butter in them. But here we go. So I'm just going to kind of put this over here with all the rest of the butter, and then I want to just squeeze it together. Obviously you want to have clean hands when you're doing this. Okay, there's some buttermilk that's gone in the bottom. So now all I'm going to do is squeeze like crazy. And as I'm squeezing, you can see the buttermilk just coming out of the butter still. So you just want to squeeze all of those things together. And this is kind of messy. Okay. I don't really feel like anything else is coming out. We'll stick that back in the bowl, and then we're gonna go over to the sink. Cold water going. Obviously you don't want hot water because this is milk, or this is butter, so it will melt. And then we are just going to rinse and squeeze, and rinse and squeeze until it forms a cohesive ball, and you don't see any other like white or milky substance coming out. Okay, now at this point the butter is really malleable, but once it goes into the refrigerator, it will be very hard, like stick butter. So I'm going to show you what I do to combat that. All right, so I cleaned up the table, and it looks like we've got, let me look here. I gotta get to the, okay, we have 2 cups of buttermilk. So this is actually my like KitchenAid emulsion blender cup. So I'm just gonna take this and put it into the refrigerator and save this for later this week. All right, so here we are. Oh, goodness gracious. And make sure that you clean your mixer really well after this, and make sure you clean your bowl really well, because we're putting the butter back into the bowl, and this time, excuse me, I'm going to use the paddle attachment. And like I said, when you put the butter, okay, so this is about 2 cups of butter. When you put the butter into the refrigerator, it is going to get very, very, very hard. And then you're going to have to pull it out and let it thaw for some amount of time before you can use it. So I decided to try and make my own olive oil or avocado oil butter. So while it's soft, you're just going to go ahead and put the butter back into the mixer, lock the mixer down, and then you're going to mix it and slowly add in anything that you want. So I'm going to be using olive oil today because my avocado oil is downstairs and I don't feel like going to get it. So I've already added salt to this, but if you wanted to add crushed garlic, any kind of herbs, if you wanted to go with a more sweet butter, like a cinnamon butter, then now would be the time to do that. Okay, and then we're gonna, once this gets all whipped up, we're gonna separate it into our smaller dishes and put it into the refrigerator or freezer, depending on which ones they are. What I've done is I have just scraped down the sides and added about a teaspoon of butter, and I've just stirred that all around. So now I am transferring the butter into these 1 cup silicone food safe containers. They're actually baby food containers from Pampered Chef, but I obviously do not use them for baby food anymore. So I'm just gonna get these into here, and this is what I will keep the butter in for right now. And these do have a bit of a lip, so I do need to leave a little bit of space, but there you go. And then, so this will go into the refrigerator or into the freezer, depending on which one I grab to keep in the refrigerator. So this will be nice and spreadable, and literally 3 ingredients. So I had the heavy cream, and then I added salt, and then once it got to the butter consistency, then I added olive oil, and I have used avocado oil and it works out just fine that way as well. And then I just added salt to taste, and now we'll be good on salt or on butter, and I know exactly what has gone into this and what is going to be going into our bodies. So happy butter making, everybody. If I can do this, as always, you can do this. So I'm just a regular person trying to show you guys how easy it is to live a more natural and healthy lifestyle without all of the chemicals. So it looks like I'm gonna get 4 cups because I have filled all 3 of these containers already. So I'm gonna go and take care of the rest of this, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Let me know if you do anything else to make your butter, or let me know if you try to make your own butter. So I know you can do it, and I'll see you guys later. All right, one more thing, and then I'm gonna leave you guys alone. So what I ended up with was about 4 cups of butter. So I would say that this is just a little bit less than a cup here. And then my last container is a full cup size. So well, maybe these are half cups. 1, 2, yeah, so 2.5, 3 cups of butter. And I wanna make sure that you guys know that there are no preservatives in here the way that there are in the, you know, store-bought or pre-made butters. So I put these in smaller containers so that we use them faster and we don't risk the butter going bad. Now, I do not have one, but there is something called a butter saver or a butter bell, which is actually a 2-part system. It's like a cup, and then there's a lid, but on the lid, you pull it out, and then there's like another cup. It almost looks like a bell. So you put a little bit of water in the bottom cup, you put the butter inside the bell portion, and then you put that together. The water moves up and keeps any oxygen away from the butter, and it can sit on the counter so that it is room temperature all the time, and then the water keeps it preserved. You do have to use the you know, you can't just use tap water. You have to boil it and let it cool so that you can make sure that there's nothing in the water. I do not have one of those, but you can get one on Amazon. I just haven't done it yet because this works for us. So anyway, just wanted to let you know what we ended up with for the butter, and now I'm really gonna leave. So I'll talk to you guys later again. Bye.